So this is a video response to Gary, to Anakin 1814's latest video that says, "Who have you become?" And if you haven't watched it, do go over and watch it. It's inspirational stuff. And he's telling the story of how since the beginning of this year he's really come out and started running, started losing weight, started getting fit, and how that's turned him, if you like, into a different person, and was asking the question, what's your story? Well, I guess for me, the thing that made me think, I've got to make a response to this, is that somehow, something in my story really fits into that, and that's the whole running and fitness thing. Who have I become in the last, it's not quite 18 months, but just a little bit over a year? I have become someone who can regard themselves as a healthy, exercising person, which is not something I had been since the end of my teenage years. So there'd been a good decade of lapse where there'd been too much chocolate ice cream and not enough getting out and riding a bike or anything like that. So that has been a big change, and I've become someone different, I feel like, because of that. I think it has affected my perception of myself. Even when I was younger, I used to ride bikes a lot, I used to enjoy that. Never really saw myself as someone who's particularly athletic or particularly kind of fit and healthy. But I certainly know that now in the last year, even though some people might choose to disagree with me about it, I have a perception of myself that is, I am at the very least on the bottom end of that sort of fit, healthy, athletic side of the scale. That doesn't mean I'm Superman, it doesn't mean I'm super fit, it doesn't mean I can run a marathon, but it does mean I can go out, run 3-4 miles and come back and not die at the end of it. And I can do that 3-4 times a week and it's not doing me any harm. In fact, I think it's doing me some good. But then I was thinking wider than that. Who have I become as I kind of look back in my early 30s, since like when I was at school? And that's an interesting one. I often kind of wonder, the guys who I was at school with or the people I was at college with, would they recognise me now? And there's a few things that are different. I mean, hopefully, since being at school or college, I've learnt a little bit about style. Some people, again, are going to disagree with that, but maybe my clothes are that little bit cooler now, and my hair, well, at least it's cut, and there's a little bit of attention to it. I'm kind of into that messy look that just means you just rub some gel or styling cream into it in the day and then that's it, off you go. But yeah, I hope that in some ways. Another thing that's different, I'm a musician, which I wasn't at school or college. I was never one of those cool kind of indie rock kids. I grew up, it had been the early 90s when I was at college, and a lot of people were into indie rock bands, and that was kind of a big scene. It was really cool if you were in a band and stuff, and I wasn't cool, and I wasn't in a band. And maybe, again subjectively, maybe I've certainly been in bands, let's put it that way, since being in school. And I've now been responsible for sort of helping other people start bands and write songs and do all that kind of thing, and play guitar, and been a bass player, been a lead guitarist, been a guitarist, been a keyboard player. So I've done all sorts, well, I still do those things, and so that's a big difference. And I guess the other thing that really struck me, when I was at school, I was really embarrassed about my faith and what I believed. And it struck me because I made a video a couple of videos ago about, am I an open-minded fundamentalist? And I've just been, I don't know, it kind of, some of the comments I've had back on that really made me think. And I've had people come back saying, hey, that's been really helpful, that's really helped me think about what I believe and all that kind of thing. And it just made me realise, there was a time when I couldn't have made a video like that. I couldn't have been that honest, couldn't have been that open about things that mean a lot to me. And so that's something that I've changed. I've become a lot more confident in who I am, and just kind of not being afraid to say that. And so yeah, that's another way, I think, for me, that I've just I have changed. And hopefully, I hope that in all these things it's a maturing process. You should kind of expect to get better and better in some ways. It's, life shouldn't peak at 18 and be downhill from there. And so I think for me, definitely, things are a lot better than they were when I was 16, 17, 18, and so that's all good. So thanks, Gary, for the question, and I hope that that's a good video response. And to all the rest of you watching, thanks for watching. And if you want to make Gary a video response as well about who have you become then? Why not do that? I'm sure he'd appreciate it. Cheers.